Here's a crazy thought. What if trees could fall sick? What if they had fevers, stomach problems, even stress, just like us? Now, what if I told you ancient India had doctors, not just for people, not just for animals, but for plants? Yep, it's real. It was called Vriksha Ayurveda. And once you hear what they knew thousands of years ago, you'll never look at a tree the same way again. Long before tractors and pesticides, people were already obsessed with plants. The Atharva Veda, a text that's over 3,000 years old, listed hundreds of healing plants. It even has a verse that goes, "May the plants protect us from disease, may they guard us from untimely death." Plants weren't green cover. They were family, guardians, healers. Farmers would actually bless seeds with milk and honey before planting them. Imagine that. Instead of just tossing seeds in the ground, they gave them a welcome ritual. Now, this is where it gets wild. The Vriksha Samhita, a 1,500-year-old encyclopedia of everything from astrology to architecture, told farmers when to sow crops based on the stars. Kautilya's Arthashastra, yes, the same classic on politics and statecraft, also included instructions for kings on managing irrigation and planting trees. And around the year 1000, Surapala wrote a 13-chapter manual entirely on plant health. So, this wasn't some side hobby. It was a full-blown science, updated across centuries. Okay, let me hit you with some plant hacks from thousands of years ago. They made a fermented brew called kunapa jala. Meat broth, pulses, milk, sesame, all rotting underground. Gross? Yes, but it supercharged soil health. Modern science says, yep, it works. Seeds were coated with cow dung, honey, and antifungal herbs. Basically, an organic vaccine for plants. They had exact watering schedules by season. Daily in spring, twice a day in summer, barely at all in monsoon. That's literally climate-smart irrigation, 1,500 years before the term existed. And transplanting? They smeared roots with honey, ghee, or lotus fiber. Gentle, protective, effective. Tell me that doesn't sound like ancient permaculture. Here's the part that blows my mind. They believed plants had doshas, the same energies described in Ayurveda for humans. Let's do a quick crash course. Vata causes dryness, restlessness, and a lean frame. Pitta causes heat, sharpness, and early burnout. Kapha causes heaviness, sluggishness, and overgrowth. So if a plant looked thin, knotted, and weak, they said it had too much Vata. If leaves yellowed and fruits dropped early, it's too much Pitta. If it grew big but sluggish, it's too much Kapha. And they had treatments. Milk, honey, mustard cake, cooling herbs. The same remedies that balanced humans. Balanced trees. They literally saw health as one universal system. Want more mind-bending stuff? Here's their version of plant biotech. Seedless fruits. Created by smearing roots with special pastes. Dwarf trees. Irrigated with milk and restricted roots. Hello, bonsai. Off-season flowering. Sugarcane juice plus sesame cakes did the trick. They even used natural weed killers. For example, branches of Calotropis, a hardy wild shrub with milky sap, were laid in irrigation channels. The sap kept weeds from sprouting. All eco-friendly. All centuries before biotech became a thing. And then, there was Soma. The Rigveda calls it the king of plants. Its juice gave strength, energy, and made people feel young again. Some say it was like the ayahuasca of ancient India, except used thousands of years earlier in massive rituals for the gods. Mystery? Totally. Psychedelic? Maybe. powerful? Absolutely. One of my favorite hymns, the Oshadi Sukta, literally talks to plants like mothers. You heal, you protect, you bless. Imagine chanting to your herbs before making medicine. That's how deep their connection went. They weren't just using plants. They were in relationship with them. Here's the genius part. They tied farming to rituals, so ecology was never optional. Sacred groves, early biodiversity hotspots, planting trees, equal to performing 100 sacrifices. Fire rituals, smoke that repelled pests and purified air. They made ecology non-negotiable, not by force, but by faith. Fast forward just 100 years ago. J.C. Bose built an instrument that showed plants respond to touch, sound, even pain. The world was stunned. And truth be told, even in India, where the old Vedic wisdom had long been forgotten, people were equally amazed. Yet, if the sages had been around, they might have simply said, "Finally, science is catching up." Today, our farms are drowning in chemicals. Soil is tired. Seeds are weak. Farmers are struggling. Maybe the future isn't about creating endless new fixes. Maybe it's about remembering what we once knew, that plants are not resources but relatives. That healing them heals us. That's the heart of Vriksha Ayurveda. This is part 1 and 2 of our series. Want more? Link in description. Part 3 goes even deeper into the Vedic secrets of plants.